Before we start, slow down for a moment. Set whatever you're holding down. Grab a coffee, tea, water, anything familiar, and just listen. If you enjoy these long, reflective dives into how the mind works beneath the surface, how things we take for granted quietly fall apart under scrutiny, remember to like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share it with someone who enjoys questioning things they thought were settled. Now, think of your earliest memory. Not a story you've been told, not a photo you've seen, an actual memory. You can probably picture it, a place, a feeling, a moment. It feels solid, personal, untouchable. But here's the unsettling truth. That memory is not a recording, it's a reconstruction. And every time you remember it, you change it. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Your brain does not store memories like files. There is no internal hard drive labeled past. What your brain stores are fragments, sensory impressions, emotional tags, associations, meanings. When you remember something, your brain doesn't retrieve the memory. It rebuilds it, on demand, using whatever pieces are available at the time. Which means memory is not about preserving the past, it's about predicting what the past must have been. Now think about that. If memory is reconstruction, then the past you remember is influenced by the present you're in, your current beliefs, your current mood, your current identity. The past is not fixed, it's re-rendered. This isn't philosophy, this is neuroscience. In the early 2000s, researchers discovered something disturbing. When you recall a memory, it becomes unstable, malleable, vulnerable. This process is called reconsolidation. The act of remembering temporarily pulls the memory apart, and when it's stored again, it can be altered. Details can be added, removed, shifted, which means every recollection is also an edit. Now consider eyewitness testimony. For decades, it was treated as gold standard evidence. Someone saw it, they remember it, case closed. Except, eyewitness memory is one of the least reliable forms of evidence we have. People confidently remember events that never happened. They misremember faces, locations, sequences, and confidence does not correlate with accuracy, which tells us something crucial. Memory is not about truth, it's about coherence. Your brain wants a story that makes sense. Now let's go deeper. Have you ever argued with someone about a shared memory? You both remember the same event, but differently. Not vaguely, specifically. Who said what happened first, how it felt. Both of you feel certain. One of you must be wrong. Or both of you are partially inventing. Because memory is not synchronized across people. Each brain reconstructs its own version using different emotional weightings, different perspectives, different later experiences, which means collective memory is not alignment, it's negotiation. Now think about childhood memories. Many of them feel vivid. But here's the strange part. A large number of your early memories are actually reconstructions based on stories, photos, and repetition. Your brain filled in the blanks, and once filled, the memory feels real. This is why people can form false memories with surprising ease. In experiments, researchers have implanted memories of events that never occurred, like getting lost in a mall as a child. Participants don't just believe it happened, they remember it. With emotion, with imagery, with certainty, which should scare you. Because if memory feels the same whether it's real or constructed, then how do you tell the difference? You don't, not reliably. Now let's talk about emotion. Emotion doesn't just color memory, it reshapes it. Strong emotions narrow attention, which means during intense moments, you remember fewer details, despite feeling like you remember more. This is why traumatic memories can feel vivid, but incomplete. Flashbulb memory is an illusion. The confidence is high, the accuracy is not. Now consider nostalgia. When you remember the past fondly, you're not recalling it as it was. You're compressing, smoothing,
removing friction. Negative details fade faster than positive ones. This is called the fading affect bias. Your brain selectively forgets pain to maintain psychological stability, which means memory is also emotional regulation. Now let's flip this. Anxiety does the opposite. When you're anxious, your brain prioritizes threat. Memories skew negative. Neutral events are reinterpreted, which means mood doesn't just influence how you feel now, it influences how you remember then. The past changes to match the present. Now here's a strange implication. If memory is fluid, and your identity is built on memory, then your identity is also fluid. You think of yourself as the same person over time because you remember being you. But that continuity is constructed. You don't experience a continuous self. You reconstruct it every morning from memory fragments and expectation. This is why people who lose memory don't just lose facts, they lose identity, because identity is memory stabilized. Now think about this. If your memories are edited every time you recall them, then the stories you tell about your life are not neutral. They reinforce certain interpretations. Over time, repeated narratives harden, not because they're true, but because they're rehearsed, which means you are, in a very real sense, the story you keep telling yourself. Now let's introduce time. Why does time feel like it moves faster as you age? It's not because time speeds up, it's because memory density decreases. When experiences are novel, your brain records more detail, more markers, more anchors. When routines dominate, days blur. Looking back, fewer memories equals shorter perceived time, which means time perception is memory compression. Life doesn't feel short because it is. It feels short because it's repetitive. Now think about attention again. The more attention you pay, the more memory you form. The more memory you form, the longer time feels, which means presence literally stretches time, not metaphorically, neurologically. Now here's a paradox. Memory is unreliable, but without it, you cannot plan, you cannot learn, you cannot be you. So evolution didn't optimize memory for accuracy, it optimized it for usefulness. What helps survival? What helps prediction? What helps social cohesion? Truth is optional. Function is mandatory. Now apply this to the modern world. Photos, videos, social media. We externalize memory constantly. But external records don't stabilize memory. They interfere with it. Seeing a photo of an event can overwrite your own recollection. You remember the image, not the experience. Which means technology doesn't preserve memory, it reshapes it. And once reshaped, it feels authentic. Now let's talk about forgetting. Forgetting is not failure, it's essential. If you remembered everything, you'd be overwhelmed. Forgetting removes noise, highlights patterns, makes learning possible. Which means forgetting is an active process. Your brain decides what not to keep. Now think about regret. Regret is memory combined with counterfactual simulation. Your brain runs a model of what could have been, but that model is fictional. It uses information you didn't have at the time, which means regret is often unfair. You judge past decisions with future knowledge, and memory supplies the emotional weight. Now here's a powerful idea. If memory is reconstruction, then revisiting memories intentionally can change how they affect you. Therapies like cognitive reprocessing work by altering emotional associations during reconsolidation. You don't erase the past, you rewrite its impact, which means you are not trapped by memory, you're interacting with it. Now let's pause, because this raises a profound question. If your memories are not fixed and your identity is built on memory, then who are you? The answer is unsettling but freeing. You are not a static archive. You are a living model, updating, predicting, reinterpreting, which means growth is not about becoming someone new. It's about telling a better story with the same fragments. Now let's end with something practical. Pay attention to the stories you repeat about yourself, about others, about the past. Because repetition doesn't just reinforce belief, it reshapes memory. And memory shapes behavior, which means the future is influenced by how you remember the past, not the past itself. So the next time a memory surfaces, especially a painful one, remember this. What you're experiencing is not a window, it's a reconstruction. And reconstructions can change. If this made you rethink what memory really is, take a moment to like the video, leave a comment, and share it. Because the strangest thing about the past is that it only exists when you remember it.